Not as easy as it seems, huh, Sony? Yo, what's up everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some great information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with the PlayStation Classic and kind of what's going down with that system. If you checked out my recent PE Live, we discussed it, but this thing is getting slashed down across retailers pretty much everywhere. Walmart has it at 60 bucks. Amazon has it at 60 bucks. You can price match it at Best Buy for 60 bucks. And obviously they're just trying to move extra stock that they have left over from the holidays. People are seeing stacks of these things. Not that that's an indication, but the indication is the fact that it's being slashed in price everywhere. And I didn't really have high hopes for this thing in the first place. People have talked about the popularity of the classic plug-and-play systems. People have talked about the popularity of classic games, being able to play them kind of in a new way or some type of retrospective or something like that, right? With the NES Classic and then the Super Nintendo Classic, you've had the plug-and-play systems before. Some of them have been kind of bad. These ones with the Super Nintendo or the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic have been pretty good. But yeah, it's just something that a lot of people like to do, and Sony felt that they can get their hands in the cookie jar, in the pot, and just kind of put out a product and get it out there, and that was not the case, right? The PlayStation Classic is not selling where Sony probably wants it to sell because of the retailers. And I've talked about this before, but one of the big things with video gaming is the price and what the market dictates. People talk about things being overpriced or underpriced or whatever the case is, and everyone that I was saying, okay, well, it's too expensive, just wait, the market will dictate the price. Same thing goes for games as well, Switch games or anything else, the market will dictate the price. If it's too expensive or something like that, people won't buy it, and then retailers will slash the price. So I think that's what we're seeing with the PlayStation Classic. But why did it fail? What's going on with this classic system and why did it fail? And you can point to a number of reasons. Obviously, price might have been one of them, right? 100 bucks for this thing. You also look at the fact that there was no DualShock controllers. That's also another big thing. So therefore, no DualShock controllers, then certain games can't be played on there, like Ape Escape, for example. So you can look at that as well. So the game selection, you can look at the controller, you can look at the price. But I also think that you have to factor in this, is the fact that PS1 has not aged as well as some people think. People see the PlayStation 1, they see it as the beginning of Sony, and they have nostalgic memories of it. But then when you go back and actually play the games, I don't think they play anywhere near as good as you thought they play or as you remember them. And I think that's the difference between a Super Nintendo Classic or an NES Classic and the art style that they use compared to the blocky type of look and the extreme loading times of the PS1. I just don't think that those games aged as well. That's why you see a lot of developers make 16-bit games or make 8-bit games in this modern era, right? You're never seeing somebody take like a PS1 graphics and say, here's our PS1 indie game. You always see 16-bit or 8-bit or a combination of the two, or maybe a little bit higher than that. They use that retro art style because that's just more appealing to the eye than looking at blocky textures all day. Now, once again, obviously that's not the only reason, and I'm not saying that that's everybody's reason. I'm just saying it's just the factors of just various different things from what I talked about here, because to me, like, I played those old school PS1 games and they were blocky and old school back then. Like, they were blocky to me back then, and they didn't look as good as what we saw with, like, at least for me personally, with the art style, even all those years ago I was saying that. And then at this point, we're in 2018, and I'm seeing those graphics and I'm seeing what they look like, and I'm like, well, there's like Crash Bandicoot that I can play, and there's like Spyro that looks a lot better. There's all these other things that you can play that were kind of like the PS1 classics, right? They've all been remade, or a lot of them have been remade in certain ways. So while I do think that people are nostalgic and there could have been a better game selection and all of that, I do think that it's just not the style that people are looking for in this age. But we'll have to wait and see if Sony tries their hand at it again. This PlayStation Classic obviously was not a success or a big thing, kind of like the NES Classic or the Super Nintendo Classic, but they might try something again, and we'll see what they do from here. Maybe they try a PS2 Classic, or maybe they retry their hand at a PS1 Classic and maybe put some better games in there. People talk about Xenogears, maybe having Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, but like I said, all those games were already remade, you know, and you can play them on your PS4 with way better graphics and better controls and all of that stuff. So to me, it just kind of seems like, I guess they could have those games, but we kind of already got them in better ways. But what do you guys think about this whole PlayStation Classic kind of failure thing that's going on? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next topic here. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee have had a big first 10-day opening when it comes to digital sales in Japan. So what we usually report on here is the media create, and that's mostly what you guys see. But the media create only covers retail sales. We don't get those digital sales out there that are becoming a bigger and bigger factor for the Nintendo Switch and other systems as well, but especially with the Switch, because Nintendo is reporting record levels of software being purchased digitally just because of the nature of the Nintendo Switch, the game sharing stuff that you can do. A lot of people are purchasing things digitally instead of physical as well. And of course, physical is still king when it comes to Nintendo Switch, but digital sales are getting up there. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee combined to sell 88,039 units in digital sales. So that is very good for this game, and it was the top seller when it comes to digital sales for the month in Japan. You have to remember though, the game came out at the endish of the month, so they didn't capture too many days there, about 10 days or so, but that's still really good for digital sales. When you can rack up another 90,000 units in sales in your first 10 days, that's exactly what you want to see from the digital sales. That's a ton of revenue coming in. You don't have to spend as much money with the shipping and all that. Obviously, it's a big deal when you can get sales like that. So it's good to see Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee continuing to do well, selling digitally, selling physical. I think that's going to lead into pretty much a magical year when it comes to 2019 and the newest Pokemon game. The Pokemon Company has been working very hard, and they've even stated they want to surprise players in 2019 with the new Pokemon game. We have a lot of heavy-hitting RPGs coming out in 2019, and Pokemon seems to be the cap-off of the year at the end, where they have this huge Pokemon game. And as well as Smash Brothers is doing, and as well as Splatoon is done, and all these other various games that come out on the Switch and help boost hardware sales in addition to boosting the overall software sales, I think Pokemon 2019, the new 8th gen Pokemon game, could probably have the biggest impact that we're going to see for the generation on the Nintendo Switch. It could be that big if this game comes out swinging. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do it with that game and kind of how it affects, even with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I think the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, can convert those people onto being more of hardcore players as well with this new Pokemon game, which was kind of the point with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So what do you guys think about these digital sales? And of course, what do you think about the Pokemon Company saying that they're going to surprise players in 2019? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here. Atlas is continuing to grab multiple domains for Persona 5 or Persona 5 related domains, and it looks like Atlas is trying to kind of cover up their tracks or throw off the trail when it comes to an announcement with Persona 5. And obviously the rumors of Persona 5 and the Nintendo Switch are heating up because of all of this. So let's go over some of the different domains that they have acquired recently. Persona5r.jp, P5s.jp, Persona5s.jp, Persona5m.jp, P5m.jp, P5b.jp, Persona5b.jp. So obviously this is going to add a lot of fuel to the fire that's already there, and the Joker fire, be it that. With Joker's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it kind of just makes sense, right? Look, guys, I love Persona. You guys have heard me talk about this multiple times. We'll probably talk about it more, but for the new subscribers and people who kind of come in, Persona 5 to me would be a perfect fit on the Nintendo Switch. I think the way that it plays, I actually played the whole game. Literally, I played the whole game almost, like the whole second half, right? A little bit more than that on a PS Vita, because of the style of game that it is, kind of like the simulation where you're talking a lot, you're answering questions, you're really chilling a lot of the time in that game, and it makes it perfect for playing during a football game or playing lying down or whatever the case is, right? You guys have heard me say it a million times over and over again, and I think that with Joker's inclusion in Super Smash Bros., with the fact that Persona has been one of those franchises that has just historically played great on portable systems. I know it's been on consoles, but Persona 4 Golden was amazing on the Vita, one of the best-selling ones before Persona 5 came out on its 100 million install base or whatever, or its huge install base that it had. But if you look at it when it comes to ratio of people who bought PS Vita compared to people who bought Persona 4 Golden, a lot of people did that because of the way that you played it. So I think that it can work really well on the Nintendo Switch. The only thing that we'd have to figure out, or maybe some people are wondering about, is the whole exclusivity type of deal that Sony potentially had with this game. But nobody knows if it's an actual real exclusivity deal forever or anything like that, or this game couldn't come to any other systems. It could have just been a year, 2 years, a year and a half. Nobody really knows. So when everybody says, oh, well, they have this exclusivity deal, nobody actually can see in any paper or proof that it's a forever lifetime exclusivity deal with mainline personas on Sony systems. That's just kind of what we've seen only, right? We haven't really seen anything else. But at the same time, we don't have any actual real proof. So maybe Persona 5 does make the jump over, especially with Joker's inclusion in Smash Brothers. We've gotten multiple different rumors. I reported on some last year. There's been multiple rumors that have came out even last year before we knew anything about Joker's inclusion in Super Smash Brothers or stuff like that. So I think that it's definitely possible, right? It's something that's possible. We're just gonna have to kind of just wait to see. It looks like there might be an announcement soon based on my video that I did just the other day where the whole Persona Central thing and the domains and what they've compared to before, where they had certain domains that were registered and then a little bit later we got an announcement at some type of event. So maybe we see that with Persona 5 on the Nintendo Switch, Persona 5 Ruby or something like that. But we'll have to wait and see. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that we discussed here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you for the next video. Peace.